Alright, what is going on, boys? We got a trade recap today for February 5th. Took a win today, and it was first win on the XFA so far, so feels good. So yeah, let's just get right into it. And the main takeaway from this video is what I'm going to say is as a trader, you need to let your intuition drive your market decisions. Intuition and discretion is the biggest thing when it comes to trading. So trusting your gut feeling, especially when in a scenario like for me, for example, I've seen and I've read these charts for 2 to 3 years, and the human mind is so powerful, and you'll start to just pick up on things and get a gut feeling. So we're gonna go over that because I potentially wanted to long to this 1 hour for value gap, but then I caught the short back down, and overall, going over from the top down perspective, I was bearish on the day. If we just zoom out, yeah, I don't know why the 4 hour is bugging. Let me just reload this. If we just zoom out on the 4 hour chart, what are we doing? We're selling off. Also, we have the clearest market maker sell model on the daily time frame that I've ever seen in my life. We have an SMT at the highs. We have now broken structure here, or breaking structure, in the process of breaking structure, and we are actively and aggressively attacking this weekly low. If we go to the weekly chart, this is a weekly swing low right here. So we're actively attacking this high time frame low down here. So I am very, very bearish on the higher time frames. So coming to the 4 hour, we are just continuing to sell off from yesterday. The only retracement possibility to a 4 hour gap would be up here. That's very, very far away. So 4 hours bearish. Zooming into the 1 hour chart, we had this big 1 hour gap coming into the market open. And so this was basically, okay, we can either long to this gap and play the retracement, catch a retracement model, or wait for the gap to get taken and then catch the sell-off. Or, potentially when the market opened, I thought we were just going to sell off immediately. So I was looking to get in short here potentially, but we just ended up ripping higher. So that was the bias for today. I'm just going to close ES because ES is the same story. It's bearish as well, but NQ is the more bearish index. As you can tell, it failed to take the all-time high. So yeah, very, very bearish. We had this 1 hour fair value gap. So market opens here, and it looks like we're going to potentially just have the immediate sell-off. And this drawn liquidity is just a 4 hour swing low. It is the only 4 hour, 1 hour swing low before this high time frame weekly low, which is this weekly low down here is very, very far away. So this was the only valid high time frame target lower for the day. So with that being said, looks like we were going to sell off immediately here, and then we came back up, tapped this 1 minute fair value gap. And so at this point, I want to see a very, very strong bearish close down, and then I could potentially take a trade right here, something like this. We didn't get that. We disrespected this fair value gap and just blew through it to the upside. So what am I thinking now at this point? This massive, I'm going to delete this for a second. This massive displacement candle up, that tells me that we're coming to go tap the 1 hour fair value gap. Also, that 1 minute candle was the 5 minute candle close. The first 5 minute candle, we come down, put in a huge, huge bullish wick, huge doji candle, and close up here. With that first 5 minute candle, we sweep the internal low. Very, very strong candle higher. We're going to go take and go tap the 1 hour gap. That's the only thing that logically makes sense. If we wanted to go lower immediately, we would have held this here and gotten bearish reactions. So that sold me on longs, and I just hesitated. That's That's the only thing. I just hesitated to take a trade because of how bearish the higher time frames were. But in reality, this is like a pretty textbook retracement model to the upside, breaking structure. We then come back down and tap the 1 minute gap. So the entry would have been right here. It would have been about a 1.2 RR trade to the 1 hour gap. I literally had my cursor on the to buy 3 contracts, 3 micros. I was sitting here hovering, and just never ended up pressing the button. So that's another thing that comes back to just trusting your market intuition, just trusting that gut feeling that you get. So yeah, potential long here. If you caught that long, like, it's not the most textbook thing ever because it is just a retracement to this 1 hour gap, but it makes complete logical sense. And then we come back up, tap the 1 hour gap, start to chop around here. I'm at this point, I'm zoomed out to the 5 minute chart, waiting to see if we're just gonna continue to rip through this 1 hour gap, if we're just gonna continue to completely rip through it. And at this point in time, could potentially take a long here, but that would have taken a while to play out. So I'm zoomed out in the higher time frame, the 5 minute chart, just waiting to see what's going to happen because I don't want to be in the 1 minute getting chopped up. And then, higher time frames, still very, very bearish. We've come up and already tapped this 1 hour gap. So what makes logical sense? We're going to see continuation lower to these lower draws on liquidity here, and ultimately, like I said, this weekly low down here, which looks like it's going to get taken at today's Thursday, so maybe not this week. Tomorrow we might see some sort of retracement to a daily gap or whatever. Who knows what's actually going to happen. But we have strong draw on liquidities lower. I've said that a million times in this video. Sorry. But we're in this 1 hour gap. Boom. What makes logical sense? To see lower prices. What do I need to see to confirm that? Well, we have this 5 minute bullish fair value gap. I need to see us run through this on the 5 minute time frame to confirm, and I need to see it with a strong move down, not just a baby barely closed below the fair value gap. No, a strong 5 minute close down, and that's exactly what we got. And so this ended up being my entry right here. Entered on the 5 minute close, got a terrible fill. I'm not gonna lie, I got a terrible fill. You can see 5 minute closed here, and I got filled down here. So that kind of sucked and skewed my stop loss a little bit, because a good protected stop would be like, let's say you enter on the 5 minute close, take profit is down here. You're able to completely cover the bodies of these candles, and you get a 1-to-1, but that's not what happened. I got a slightly skewed entry, and so got entered here. So I had my stops as far as I could extend them for about a 1-to-1, and then once this next candle came up, you can see this candle wick here. This next candle came up. And then closed down here. And once we started to continue lower here, I added on another contract. So I was heavy size into this after that continuation lower from my original entry. And I was kind of scared of getting retraced on a little bit, not going to lie. So I was in with a fat stop loss, honestly. And then once we held this 1 minute fair value gap and continued lower past these lows, I then went break even. The textbook break-even point would have been at this low down here. But in my opinion, after holding this and continuing lower, it's like, okay, the draw is confirmed, right? Worst case scenario is we just rip through this and I take a massive loss on my account, which is not what I want to happen. So if we're going to come back up and stop me out at break-even, it's like we have this gap up here. We're potentially going to open up 5 minute gap up here, which is what we did. My thought process is, okay, I'll go break even if we come back up to my entry point, and then just wait to see if we respect it. If we can respect it, we'd like tap a gap up here and then continue to respect, I could just re-enter the trade. So that was my thought process there, and it ended up working out in my favor because I made it would have only been like a $500 win, and now it's like a $700 win. So that's productive there. But yeah, that's the trade recap for today. Bias was pretty clear. Entered on strong 5-minute candle close. Displacement. That's all I'm really looking for these days is displacement, volume. Are we moving with efficiency? Does the move make sense? And does the move make sense in reference to the higher time frame models, which all those boxes were checked this morning. And so, yeah, for sure, like, bro, I said this in the last video, or in one of these videos this week, I expected the equities to start to sell off a little bit, get a little bit of a correction. It looks like we're attacking this low down here as of right now with aggression. So Friday, tomorrow, the bias is probably going to be pretty simple. It's probably going to be bearish as well. If we go to the 1 month, we could ultimately end up coming down to tap this monthly fair value gap. We'll just have to wait and see. It also is a weekly fair value gap. There's also a couple more weekly lows down here. So there's also, yeah, some a lot more swing lows down here. But as of right now, the main target for me is 24,149. This low down here. But yeah, let me stop yapping too much. And you can see we come down, take the draw on liquidity, and now price action has stalled. That means the draw on liquidity was correct. The objective for the day was correct. And it was pretty clear, like this was, like I said, the last remaining high time frame swing low before the low down here. So that's the trade recap. Feels good to get a win. And just going, my whole mindset tomorrow is just protecting capital on Friday to end the week. If it's not an A+++++ screaming at my face setup, I'm not going to take it, which it could be if we just continue to sell off towards this low. Then I will likely slap on heavy size because I have so much confidence in this low down here. If it's not that and it's just a retracement higher, if it's not A+++, I'm not taking it. I want to protect capital. My only goal coming into this week was to pass the new eval. And we did that, and we've already gotten a win on the XFA. So it's been a good week already. Don't want to give any profits back on Friday. That's the biggest thing when it comes to actually pulling money from these prop accounts, is knowing when to step away and be content and not continue to force trades when you're up on the week, right? Protecting capital is the most important thing that I've come to learn when it comes to these prop accounts. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. My whole objective tomorrow is to protect capital. It's not to take a trade, it's to protect capital. So that's my mindset going into tomorrow. Let me know if you guys took a trade today. And unfortunately, if you weren't going to take this 5-minute close, there just wasn't a textbook retrace that was offered. So if you didn't catch the 5-minute close here, you probably weren't able to execute on shorts, which is unfortunate. But like I said, there was also opportunity if you saw this long right here to trust your gut, let the market open volatility take you to the 1 hour gap. Because in my opinion, like I said, if we wanted to continue lower off the market open, we don't put in this insanely big doji wick and 5-minute candle close. So that's all my thoughts on the market today. Let me know if you guys took a trade or not, and I will see y'all tomorrow in the market recap. Peace.